He's a tactical genius, he's the one to see on VP4TV. He's wild and he's free. I'm on top, number here, you and me. With his cunning moves, he's rocking endlessly. Tables and cues, they bend to his will. Every shot he takes gives everyone a thrill. With a glance and aim, he works to the skill. In the ball, lights from the chill. Tables and cues, they bend to his will. Every shot he takes gives everyone a thrill. With a glance and aim, he works for the skill. In the ball, lights from the chill. Tactical genius with every play, making magic happen every single day. In the world of billiards, he knows the way, taking every shot with prayers we say. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. From the corner bank to the perfect cut, he wins the game without a single strut. Chalk it up, just a fortune or luck, but skill like his, it never gets stuck. On VP4TV, he's the showstopper. 9ball.com's the king, no one can top her. Watch him play and you'll be a hopper. He's the man, we all shout proper. Every shot with prayers we say. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. To the perfect cup, he wins the game without a single strut. Chalk it up, just for fortune or luck, but skill like his, it never gets stuck. On VP4TV, he's the showstopper. 9ball.com's the king, no one can top her. Watch him play and you'll be a hopper. He's the man, we all shout proper.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool, nothing else.
ATG from Kilmarnock town, got your hustle down. Streams the pool games live, makes our day come alive. Early mornings on your grind, Tesco shift unwind, but you find the time to play, stream the virtual day. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand.
And that's the sucker scratch. Look at the line. Commentator's eye. Don't say I didn't warn you.
OTG tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. A virtual cue in your hand. Amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early riser, work all done. Streams the games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. OTG tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
This for the 101. Absolutely sensational once again.
Virtual cue in your hand. Amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. The game's just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
That was fantastic.
Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear, how sad, never mind.
Well, good afternoon or good early evening, whatever way you want to describe it. Welcome back to VP4TV. We're here for a round 3 match in this year's VP4 2025 Virtual Cowboy World Championship on the 10-footer. And it's between Cobra, defending champion from or representing the United Kingdom from England, playing Tornado Tam, representing Scotland, and that goes ahead in a couple of minutes' time. There are 3 matches on the schedule, as there has been for the last 2 or 3 days, this one being the first one in order. And then we have Coldest Pillow against Tommy, which has actually been arranged. Coldest Pillow is worried about actually getting that match arranged, so clearly Tommy has responded. And that's scheduled for Sunday at 7 p.m. And then we have the Jose Bankster match, which has been scheduled for a few days. That doesn't go ahead until the Monday evening or Monday afternoon at 5 p.m. All of these are British summertime hours, and obviously then take 5 hours if you're east coast of the States, 8 hours if you're west coast of the States, and then you've got your start time. So those are the matches that are all set up to go. This one's going to go in just under 2 minutes. Well, I can summarise how this will go. If Tam doesn't make contributions, he's got no chance of winning. He can't rely on Cobra getting stuck in the caroms and catching him up and pickpocketing him 2 or 3 racks. I don't think that'll happen. Tam's clearly got to score today. That's his only hope. And it's his only way of applying pressure. Well, as it is in any game, you have to score to put pressure on your opponent. But he can't go handing it to him in a plate. The high run is still, as it shows on the screen, it's still 91. I thought that would have went in that match the other night there that we had. And I think the high run in that match was about 74. And it was Cobra, and I've forgotten who he was playing against. Somebody will remind me. But anyway, the high run still stands to interchange X. I'll be really surprised if it stands a whole tournament, and pretty disappointed if it does, simply because you should expect a higher standard as you get to the later rounds of the tournament. Cobra obviously being the favourite to take that high run, but literally anybody can do it on the day. So we will see. Of course, it's Friday. We have Friday night 9-ball due to go ahead at the same, in an hour's time. And I don't know whether Slim's going to be around to do that. I'm still on holiday, and I don't go back until next Tuesday. So I've still got to do a big shop, get some food in the house in preparation for going back to work. But in the meantime, I've got a big boxing match to watch tomorrow night. And I have also got the 3rd round of the Open Golf Championships. I sat and watched most of it. Today I had a good stream, and it's going to be a close one, I think. And the weather forecast is not brilliant either, which is even better because that adds into the mix. So so far I've got at least 3 people watching. Nobody said hello, so I don't know who you are. There is little or no interactivity going on here. Whoever is watching, and maybe a few more will be along. Right, the room has gone up. Tam arrived about 10 minutes ago. Cobra's been in for a little while, and Tam is in and raring to go. So we'll have the lag for the break, and of course that's so important that Tam gets off to a good start. So if he can win the lag and get in and put something on the board, then it might give him a wee bit more confidence for better prospects as the match goes on. And I think it's going to be close. He's got it though. So here we go. Race to 3. Well, that 5-ball and 1-ball are going to be in line, but because he's potted a ball and hit a ball and made a carom, he has an open table. In fact, they're not ideally in line. He can still pot the 5, which is handy. And still an open table, because again, he's potted a ball and caromed another ball. If the HUD doesn't have anything in it at the top left-hand corner of the screen, then it's an open table. And it's an open table again, because again, he's potted a ball and caromed another ball. And now the table's a bit ugly, so he's now on a pot, so he's got to find a way for the recovery here. Bearing in mind his next shot to come as a carom, so he's stuck to the rail, so he's limited by what he can do with the cue ball. But that might not be too bad. He can go around the corner onto this 5 ball. I don't believe he wants to try and hit it direct. He's got to go short rail, long rail into the back of this, get it into the table. And now he's got a choice of potting the 1 or the 5. Now, obviously, the 1 is the one you want to get and try and come across below this and leave yourself a choice of 2 caroms, neither of which are guaranteed certainties. That's not a bad line, though, for the force follow to the 5. Shouldn't be any danger of a scratch on it. But he's missed the line. And Tam's visit is only 20. And that's not good enough. And he knows it. So, Cobra's first response and first objective will be to get rid of that deficit and then build on it. Well, he didn't get the brush on the 1 ball there, so now he has to play the carom, which again, he probably doesn't want to go to the 5. It's too dangerous for the scratch, and he's going to go long. Really, he wants to get these balls back on their spot as quick as he can here. Get the table into better shape. And within 2 or 3 shots, he could well have that done. Well, maybe not so much with that shot, but now he's got to dig out a pot. A blind pocket pot at that as well. So once again, half ball on the 3 ball, but not too heavy would be the carom. And that's too full. But again, that just pushes it straight to the short rail, makes your life more difficult. So he's immediately got work to do here to get back into some sort of shape, because this is nowhere near good. And he can go 5 to the 3. That looks logically easier because it's closer. And he's going to be good for a follow-up. He cuts the 3 in, the 3 goes in its spot. 3 and 5 are sitting together. And things are almost back to a reasonable setup here. So Cobra just a point behind and counting. Yeah, 20s ain't going to win you this match against Cobra. You've got to be scoring into the 40s, into the 50s to apply pressure on his responses. And if you don't do that, and you don't do it more than once or twice, then your odds aren't good. So he's taking the lead. And again, 3 ball going in its spot, 5 ball very adjacent. Well, this time he can stay below the 1, but he doesn't need to. But the angle he's got on the 3 balls, meaning the cue balls really wanting to run too much. So that's why he's took the 5. The 3 ball where it's sitting is far easier to hit as a carom if you want to go around the corner, but he's going to go 5-1 instead. Well, the 3 ball and the 5 ball again need to be back in play ASAP. There's nothing wrong with potting this 1 ball at the moment and just going up into the middle of the table, and you've got a guaranteed 1-3 carom. Or if you finish slightly the other side, you might fancy the 1 to the 5. But he's sending the cue ball over towards the 5, and he's still got the backup with the 1 and the 3. Well, you tell me. I mean, I know as much as you probably do. What I'm trying to work out, obviously the police will do an investigation and there'll be some sort of witnesses on the bus will say what happened. But apparently all I heard was this morning on the news that there was a collision, and that's all we know. We don't know whether it was another vehicle. All I would say is the bus has to be doing something really crazy to have gone off the road, and would have to have been going at a certain speed for that to happen as well. And I mean, well, I've not really seen what the road looks like, but they're quite narrow roads down that part of the world, I believe. So, and the driver will obviously be interviewed, so that'll all come out in the wash eventually. Somebody will be charged with something, more than likely the driver, unless there is witnesses and proof of something else that went wrong or something else that was involved. But either way, a young kid's been killed because of it. And meanwhile, Cobra's visit has gone. I've missed that with the chat there. Cobra's lost his point, so he's obviously fouled. And Tam's back at the table. And he really has to make the most of this. Because that's something that really needs to be punished. The fact that Cobra's put a score on the board, got on the lead, but then lost it before his visit finished, is a big, big bonus and opportunity for Tam. But immediately I think he's wrong here. I think he's too straight. Yep, so he's now going to have to pull off a carom. Easier said than done. So again, Tam's visit is 25, so he's had a 20 and a 25 so far. Yeah, you don't want to ask me for advice, Slim, on that, because I rarely do a trip where I'm not involved in some sort of self-inflicted damage. So Slim will be doing Friday Night 9 Ball, no doubt, if he's here. And that starts in 50 minutes' time on his Twitch channel. So this is Cobra's second attempt at scoring. First one failed. He was probably on about 30-something, but then again, I don't know because I was too busy looking at the chat. There was something stupid I saw on the news, and I can't remember what the hell it was. Unless I was dreaming it, because I was dozing in my chair, and I don't know, but I'm sure I saw something in the news, and I can't remember what it was, but it was daft. I can't remember what I'm trying to. For the life of me, I'm trying to think what the hell it was. Well, I saw the football last night. That was hilarious. A bunch of women can't bloody score a goal. What a pathetic effort that was. And Sweden have got to be gutted. I mean, they could have been 3-0 up against England, and then the Swedes couldn't score a goal from the penalty spot. Oh, the penalties were hilarious. I mean, some of them were dreadful efforts, so they were. Currently, you're standing outside a broken phone booth, feeling downhearted. Is that a song? In fact, why would you be standing outside a phone booth when you should have your own smartphone? I'll tell you something. Women should be paying for the privilege to be playing football. That's how shite they are to watch. No disrespect meant, but I'll leave it at that. I certainly not pay money to watch Premier League footballers, let alone pay anything to watch women's football. So Cobra back on 29. The run so far. Tam's had 2 attempts. He's only accumulated 45. Do you want to hear a real sexist comment, by the way? Prepare yourself for a real sexist comment coming up. There's only 2 types of sport that women should be doing, right? And that is gymnastics and what do you call it? Beach volleyball. That's it. Anything else, forget it. They want to be doing a sport that's worth a watch, and football isn't one of them. That's for the red-blooded males out there. Yeah, Celtic do have a women's team. I don't know where they are in the league because I pay absolutely no attention to it, no interest in it whatsoever. Well, you know, that's an old joke, that. You know why women's feet are smaller than men's? So that they can get closer to the sink when they're washing the dishes. Yeah, there's another 1970s joke for you. Oh, yes. Let's bash the birds tonight. Get the channel banned. Yeah, I'm going to write in and complain. Right, well, anyway, don't do it until Cobra's finished his run. He's on 45. So there's Tam's lead gone. Well, it is for the time being. All now the question is whether Cobra can keep his points. So now he's got a wee bit more work to do. He's got a wee bit more isolation here between these balls and room for mistakes or finding the wrong line. And that's going to just chip it. I saw YouTuber stopping monetizing AI videos. I could well believe that. In fact, it's a bit late for them doing that, because there's, you know why that'll be though? Because there's people who that's all they're pumping out, AI stuff, just to get the hits. That's all it is. And you know, that's a good move that by YouTube. A bit late though, but I mean, I think anybody that's doing that AI stuff and thinking that they're going to make a fortune out of it, they were going to get found out sooner or later. And YouTube's probably looked at the revenue that they're losing for AI stuff as opposed to genuine creative stuff by streamers and stuff like that. Welcome to Brainful Out. Oh, I wish I could remember what that thing was. What the hell was it? I wanted to have a rant about it, and I've totally forgotten what it is. Oh, God. Anyway, Cobra moves on to, what is it, 66? And this is the price you pay, Tam. 2 visits, 1 of 20. Cobra then scored points and lost them. Tam then gets a 25. And this is a result of Tam finishing his visit in 25. Cobra's managed to rack up 66 and counting, and still looking to get this new high run for the tournament. And commentators, I was going to say commentators cuss there, not I, but he's flicked the one into the other side pocket. And that's the bonus that Tam didn't want Cobra to get there. Try to get it in the left side, it goes round the knuckle straight across into the right side. And there's no doubt the high run's going to go now after that's happened. Well, the one is going to stay alive. The 5 and 3 are set nice for a carom. Now, I wonder if that 3 goes past the 5 if he stays low. Yes, he can. I mean, he can come back into the table, but he doesn't need to. He just needs to stay there. So the run is 70. Yeah, if he drags this 3 ball in and kills all the pace off the cue ball, he's good to go. He's staying above the 3. And that 3's hit the knuckle. So it's still in play. Now, if he drops the 3 in, the problem is, yeah, he can drop that in and stay above or stay below the 1 as we look. He can just drop that in and come down to here. I don't see what the problem is with it, because it's easy enough to cut it and kill the pace in the cue ball, but he's going the other way. But you see, now he's run into the 1, and that's the danger with that shot. You know, if he'd taken the 3, he was never going to bump the 1. So now he's in trouble. He should have bit the bullet there and played the most obvious shot, which was the one that was going to take him below the 1. There was no collision, and he decided to play the 5 ball, so now he has to produce. And that has blown his high run attempt. The run ends on 80, and Tam now knows where he stands. But Cobra made the mistake there, and the mistake was not taking the 3 ball. The 3 ball was simple. It was a simple little cut. Cue ball was going to go below the 1, and he would at least have a shot at something. And Tam, a long way back. He just needs to get his head down and get into a rhythm here if he can, and let the scoreboard take care of itself. And he's still not really under control here. This 5 ball's a bit thin into the side, which means, again, the cue ball is running loose big time. Now, if he plays the 1, the problem here is, let me see, is he 2? No, that's fine. Thought he's maybe going to be too low. He's fine. Well, the three's gone in. So again, the shot would be 3 into the side and stay below the 3, come back off the rail and out. But he's holding the line for the 5-1, which is fine as long as you've got the follow through to do it. The only thing he's got to be careful is playing this gentle enough to try and keep the 5 alive and still make the carom, and that'll be good enough. Stubbs in the room. Now this is just going to be running a wee bit loose again, but he's playing it at a gentle enough pace. Now that means the 1's now sort of out the game at the moment. So now he's got to get either above the 3 or hold it behind the 5 to leave a carom, and he's not gone behind it. Well, he has. He just brushed the edge far enough there. I thought he was going to be stuck beside it. He's still okay, but really wants to get this 1 in play, and he's missed a fairly simple carom there by getting it far too thin. And again, only in the 20s the visit. Not good enough. It's like any game, you've just got to try and keep your concentration 100% all of the time. And that was a fairly weak effort there by Tam on that carom. Didn't really get through with the shot enough to do anything with the cue ball there. Got it far too thin. So Cobra now has become the odds-on favourite unless he gets stalled on the caroms. Now, slight problem here that Cobra's now in 88 and on a pot. And the problem is, look at the way the 1's sitting. He can't pot any other ball because he'd be over the 90. And he's got an extremely dodgy, way too thin cut in the 1, I think. And unless he goes for the bank. Well, I think he went for the cut into the corner, but he's maybe trying to leave the table as dodgy as possible for Tam. And this is actually not a bad leave. I mean, it's not a difficult pot in the 5 ball. He's gone to the rail too soon, though. He hasn't read it. He's not read it. And so Cobra did the right thing. Again, no shots in that type of back cut in the 5. I never spend a lot of time looking at them. I'm always of the opinion that my first impression by looking at the angle is what I should go by rather than overthinking it. It's never worth spending too much time thinking and thinking and thinking, but Tam was nowhere near that. And so Cobra now into the carom phase between 90 and 100. But the danger is where that 5 ball's sitting. He's trying to get behind it and he's missed it. But that was the right shot, and the reason it was the right shot was is it was the safest one to play the shot and get that 5 ball into the table and away from that pocket. So he's given Tam a bit of a lifeline here. Tam has a really good chance here to get into the caroms and actually get the lead in, and he really needs to make the most of this and be fully focused. Again, this has to be dead weight, and he'll have a 1 to the 5 or possibly more likely the 5 to the 3 carom here. Let's have a look. Well, it's probably going to be the 1 to the 5. If he'd gone a bit wider, it would have been the 5 to the 3. Now this has got Tam under a bit of pressure here. He has to bite the bullet and cut that 1 or thin cut the 5. And that's no good. That is no good at all. It is only 8 points, and I think he should have bit the bullet and cut the 1 as much as he might not like to have took on the shot. He had a carom set up if he had got it. And you know, sometimes you just have to grow a pair and play the shot. I mean, if you look where he is there, he would have a fairly straight 1, a cut back in the 5, and Cobra gets his first carom. And he should be trying to come into the back of that 3 ball here off the long rail and punch it out of there, because that could really benefit him big time. And it has done. He's got it out. He's going to have to manufacture another shot here. Now, you can go thin off the 1 and go to the long rail, and 3 balls quite a big target to hit. The only thing is the table's not going to be sitting too good for his next shot, I wouldn't think. Well, he's looking to draw to the 3, play it direct, and the reason for that is to actually try and keep the 1 in a better place for a follow-up carom. That was well played. Just paid $2.99 for some Pringles. What do you mean for some Pringles? What, you mean like a big tube of Pringles? Sounds a bit dear. I pick boxes of Pringles every day, and I don't know what price they are. Well, that should be independent stores, isn't it? The Premier shops. Got a little local community shops that you get all over the country. Bit like Spars. They're just another alternative to Spar stores. Meanwhile, Cobra on a roll here. The 6 carom there takes him to 96. And as predicted, Tam's scoring is not heavy enough. What a big fish supper from a tee. So I did a big special fish supper and a big single smoked sausage to go with it as well. And then a cup of tea to wash it down. And I would have had a second cup of tea if I wasn't actually having to get ready for this live stream, because I cut it a bit fine. I would have had another cup of tea definitely to wash the rest of my fish supper down. So I'll just have to make do with my 5-litre bottle of water. Where from? Bloody chip shop. Where else do you get fish suppers? No more clues. Well, that was the only danger with that he was going to roll into that 3 too thick, so he played it ultra thin to avoid potting the 3 in error. Takes him to 99. Well, he's put 9 caroms in a row together, so who says that getting to the caroms before Cobra's going to do you much good? I mean, he's on a roll of 9 here, and he's going to keep them. And Tam is very much in last chance saloon here in this first rack. So now he has to be ultra cautious at protecting the 1. And he has to make the right move at the right time. If there's no more scoring available or nothing simple, then he has to make sure that things aren't too easy for Cobra. And, well, again, the visit, very short and sweet. Well, I mean, I would say Matt, as far as pot and balls is concerned, although not if it got down to the caroms. Not necessarily, but then again, you know, he might be off practicing, putting in a bit of table time. Monster's definitely a strong favourite if he can get to the caroms and, you know, be well in the mix. But Monster's already been dealt with, don't forget, by Cobra. He's already seen off Monster. And again, Tam, he played that carom there out of desperation, knowing full well that he was probably going to collide with the one ball because it was too much in line. And not only that, he set up the outshot for Cobra. So again, he should have thought about just playing safe and covering a path to that one ball and still giving himself another chance. So Cobra's now missed the outshot, got it too thin. Tam should learn from his mistake and protect that one ball now, because now anywhere near a pocket with that one ball and Cobras should have an easy out. Table again, not good for progressing here. I mean, he could go for a 5 to the 3 or 1 carom. Well, he's missed the carom. Now there's a big stun draw right into that top right-hand corner here. There's also a 2-railer into this bottom right-hand corner. So the outshot is either a big stun and call that pocket, that one there, or off the left side, 2 rails into this corner pocket here is the outshot. I don't know what one he called, but he didn't get into that cue ball enough. He called the top right-hand corner, but he had to be a lot... Yeah, he had to hit it a lot harder for a start. He was too soft. He needed to get the reaction in the cue ball a lot sooner than what he did. But anyway, Tam still to get to the caroms. Table's not good. And getting less good by the second as that one ball rolls up table. Well, he can take... Well, every shot he takes is a risk. You've just got to go for it. You've just got to go for the rail. Try and hope these balls get into some reasonable sort of shape. And again, he's got a 2-way shot here he can go for. He can go 3 to 1, but he can go 1 to 3 to 5. If he misses one, he might hit the other. But the danger with that is sending the one up to the top right-hand corner, playing that. This is an attempt at a safety, and that's not very good. Well, this is just a feather edge of the one ball, and you're out every day of the week. I'll be very, very surprised if Cobra misses this. It's just got to be nice and thin and just pocket pace and give it every chance to go in, and he shouldn't miss this. There you go. Tam made it all too easy for him in the end. So after 36 minutes, now just gone to 37 minutes, Cobra's 1-0 up. And he's trying to play the draw from the 3 to the 5. He misses that, so Tam's in straight away. But has to get something more than 20. Are you doing my game Sunday? Yes, I am, because I'm off on a Monday. Maybe you're Chiense. Maybe you're Chiense. What's Chiense? I've just noticed that in the chat up above. Well, I said Tam needs more than 20. He quite clearly isn't listening because he's only got 1. And he's going from bad to worse. Welcome to Hazard. Good evening, amigo. Well, this is going to be a sorry tale for Tam if he doesn't get his finger out rather rapidly here, I would suggest. He needs to get his head screwed on fairly quick here and loosen up. Because if he's trying to be too precise, it's not helping him. So he might as well just let it go. He's trying to be deliberate, but it's not happening. And we're in the second rack, and Tam's high run is only 25. And that won't get you anywhere in this tournament. Well, what it will get you is it's a guaranteed position in the one-loss side. That's one thing it'll guarantee you. That's the only thing that's guaranteed at the end of this game tonight. He gets knocked in, that'll be a bonus. 5 balls coming out. But a long straightish 3 will recover the situation because the little follow through gives you the 3 to the 5. Now there's a problem. The problem is he's not got a guaranteed easy pot here. He's got a dodgy cut in the 3, which if the cue ball goes, not the 3, the 5, but if the cue ball goes the 2 rails with the cue ball back over to where the 5 is, he's got an easy carom. So he's missed the cut. It wasn't easy, and he's let Tam off the hook. The visit ends in 23, and Tam really needs to fire up here. He needs to get inspired one way or another. And straight away, he's already in trouble. He's already not good here. Open table so he can pot a ball or make a carom. And he's recovered somewhat. And had to get above this 5 or below the 5 as we look to give him half a chance for the 5-3 to follow. I think he's reasonable enough in that, yeah. Again, this time it'll be the 3 and just stay up top. Leave the 1 where it is at the moment. He shouldn't even be thinking about the 1. And I don't know why he's thinking about the 5, so that means he's wanting to go 5-3. Now, to me, it was far easier to play the 3-5. I don't know why. He's now going 5 to the 1, which means the cue ball just get further to travel and more room for things to go wrong, but he's got it. And likewise with this shot, he can leave the 1 ball there where it is and play the 5 and stay up top, and he'll have a straightforward enough 3 to 5 carom as long as he goes far enough through. And that'll do. So now the 5 ball is isolated in the rail, so now it's working with a 1-3 carom. Now, ideally, he would like to probably cut this 5 ball down the rail depending on how these balls shape up here. Now, he could play the 5 down the rail. It's the braver shot, and it means it allows you to stay up top. But going this way, he's going to go 1-5. And again, he's got to get the edge right in this. I would much rather a sharper angle than this to allow you to take more of the one, but he's judged the force follow a lot better than I might have done there. Again, it's not sitting ideal. He's got to pull off a cut here. And he's going to have to go 3 into the back of the 5 and 1. So around the corner, he doesn't want to get into the cue ball too much, and he doesn't want to scratch either. So 3 back in the spot, and again, roll the 5 in, and either come into the middle of the table or stay above the 3. And you've got the force follow 3 to 5. And what you're hoping to do here is keep the 3 alive so you can put it back in the spot, but he's hit that a lot harder. Same applies going up that end of the table. Now with the 5 down near the 1 spot, it's the 1 ball you pot. So far, the run goes to 42. It's still not enough. It only gives him a 20-point lead. And now it's the 3 ball, and you don't want to block yourself off because you want to play the 1-5 next, and he's got to make sure he gets a clean sight of this carom. See, blocking yourself off is dropping behind the 3 on the diamond, a bit like that, and that's what you don't want to do. So now you've got a big target, you're bound to hit something, and well, the 1 ball's a bit high for the cut and staying above the 1, but you can come into the table and you should have a 1-5 carom. So if he's now choosing to play that 1, he has to go high enough. And he's missed the pot because of it. Again, trying to be delicate there. And the run ends in 47. It's a slender lead. Welcome to Jose. But that run should have been 60-odd or 70-odd to have any impact. But it was Tam's highest visit so far. What was it, 43 or something? I can't remember. I don't know. It wasn't 48, was it? Somebody will be paying attention. But now, Cobra's got the same objective everybody has when they come back to the table. The first objective, get rid of the deficit and then build up the lead. Well, this is not easy. I mean, this ball is right in the pocket and he's nailed to the rail with the cue ball. And that's probably as good as he was going to get there. So now he's going to have to manufacture a shot here to get the carom to stay at the table. It could be a short visit here for Cobra. 45, was it? Or, well, the cue ball I don't think was scratching. It was sort of heading that direction, but I think it was going to the rail. Well, the table's still not good for a continuation here. You get these balls isolated like where they are. It means that you know you've got to get a decent setup for the next follow-up carom to come. And that'll do. That's not bad. He can be gentle enough and leave this 5 ball alive so he can pot it. And now if he's going to pot the 5, which he has to, really, or is that the 3? I can't see from here. It might be the 3, but if it is the 3, then it's clearly going to spot and be very handy for a 3-5 carom. And that's a good line and a good pace. I think it's a 3-ball, isn't it? Yeah. He can go nice and thin, maybe with a wee bit of left English in case he catches a rail, just to kick the 5-ball out. No, he's going direct. So Cobra only a few points behind. If he pots the 1, he's got the 3 and around the corner for the 5-ball. So that's fairly well set up. Now you just don't want to go too tight into the corner because you could come out and miss the 5 altogether. Just like that. Commentator's eye. That's what can happen. If you just go too tight, you'll come around the corner and you'll miss the target altogether. And again, Tam's been let off the hook there. The visit ends on 21. And this is another great opportunity for Tam to get himself towards those caroms. Well, the 3-ball has gone in. Makes no great difference. He's potting a 5, staying above the 3. And this is back to conventional alternate cowboy. All the balls in their spots. 5-1 is set up, but they're a bit square, so you've got to be careful with this. The 5's a wee bit higher than the 1, so if you're going to leave that carom, you've got to get far over to the left. And like that, that's perfect. Once again, the shot here is to drag the 1 ball in and stay in the kitchen and give yourself a choice of 2 shots. Tam's committing himself to 1. And that always worries me. You know, he knows he has to get this. It was far easier to pot the 1 and stay in the kitchen there. Now you've got the 5-ball near the 1 spot. The 3-ball's going to go in its spot. The cue ball needs to get out into the table high enough for the carom, which is good as it's sitting. And he needs to keep an eye on the scoreboard as well. I keep saying it. He needs to, although he's concentrating on what he's doing, he has to keep an eye on what he's doing as well. Because this would be crazy to lose what he's got here. But he's having to dig out a pot. Big shot, this. And he's overdone it by the country mile. So there's his chance gone. He has to hope Cobra can't get to 75 and then get on that chase. But it's another great chance here for Tam. And this is 2 straight in this 5-ball. Go out into the middle of the table. Nice angle. Can play a force follow to the 1, but he can also go to the rail and kick the 1. Whatever's the better and more comfortable line. No, he doesn't want the double kiss here if he can help it. He wants to hit this 5-ball, half ball. Get it out of there. Well, would you believe it? He's actually missed the pot. Now, I'm not sure whether he maybe was confused about what shot he was on, but the priority there was make sure you get the pot. He obviously had his mind on moving the 5-ball, and that's a big mistake by Cobra. And Tam, again, being given a great opportunity to try and get to these caroms. Now, he's going to be nailed to the 1-ball, would you believe it? And these are so difficult to judge. I don't care what Steve says. Talking of Steve, no sign of him yet. He's still plodding about the mountains somewhere in the Sierra Nevadas. Looking to get eaten by a mountain lion. So Tam vitally onto 85. And he's got to watch that 5-ball. And he's also got to watch what he needs to get to 90 because he wants to be able to pot something to get there. And he's now got a thin cut. And now he's going to have something at distance. Another vital attempt at a carom here. Has to get it, really. I think he's missed the 3-ball altogether and just blown his points. Oh, good.
Oh dear, how sad, never mind.
What if Steve don't make it back? I'm sure he'll get a bus or something. What you mean if his transport breaks down, or if he gets eaten by a mountain lion? Well, no doubt we'll stay here until these payments run out on his server, and then everything dies, and then that's it. We want to look on the bright side. Because once the bill comes in for the server costs and etc., if they don't get paid, then everything gets shut down. I think that's how it works. Because you don't get anything for nothing in this world. Money has to cross hands at some point. Don Corleone. So Tam has the 1-ball still alive. Now again, you've got to go far left or far right with this shot. And that's perfect for the little force follow. See, Tam doesn't trust his force follows. He goes for these thin edges, and I think that's where he's vulnerable a lot of the time, because it's not the first time he's missed the edge completely and lost all his points. I would much rather have a more solid connection to a ball than trusting a thin edge. But either way, he's still not at 90. That's all that matters right now. Getting to 90, however you get there. And he's going to kill the 1-ball. That takes him to 84. And everything's going to be isolated. So the 5 will take him to 89. And he needs the carom to follow a long one off the edge of this 5-ball. And he's got to watch he doesn't cut the 5-ball. But he's going to be afraid of it and go the long route round off the 1-ball. That's let Cobra back in. Bondi is cold as pillow as far as I remember. So Tam, one short of the Carams, and Cobra hot in his tail on 64 and counting. What, is it a secret then, is it? Well, that used all of the pocket. It's gone in though. Did any of you watch that? I was trying to find that other killer match I've been talking about, and I could never find it. But did any of you watch the Stephen Henry killer match? Because he plays a game of killer. They were using cards just to find the order of play and all of that stuff. But if I could find that original video, it's a much better one to watch because the guy's explaining the game to you at the time. And I searched and searched and couldn't find it. I wish I'd added it to my subscriptions at the time. Well, anyway, Slim is online, and we are about a minute away from the start of Friday Night 9 Ball. So he will be up and running on his Twitch channel right now. If you get bored with this, you can hop over and join Slim, keep him company. Meanwhile, Cobra on 77. Tam with his fingers crossed he's going to get back to the table. And that one ball sitting where it is far from good for either player right now. And because Cobra's the one that needs to get the points to catch Tam up. And with this one ball sitting like this, it's no good. Well, there's enough messages pop up in the chat that say hit like and subscribe, isn't there? Are people not paying attention to any of them? Well, clearly they aren't, because I've always got to beg people to hit the like button. Well, Larry's arrived at the last minute in the lobby. And that was the thing I asked Redbat, I asked Brian to get rid of the Tuesday night 9-ball Scotch doubles because nobody was playing in it. And I asked him to put the 9-ball and the 10-foot table tourney back in for Larry, because that's what he would have preferred to have kept, the 9-ball and the 10-foot. So he did that, Brian did that, and no bugger played in it on Tuesday night. Nobody's interested. And meanwhile, Cobra is on 88 or 86, sorry. And the one ball has been moved onto the long rail. But more importantly, if Cobra gets the carom here, he should be on the one ball as a pot. And he's went around the corner. Well, that's a big miss there from Cobra. The run ends on 26. Tam needs to cut the one, and he has to go for the 2-3 railer for either the 3 or the 5 ball here. He's got to take a lesson from myself here and get that one ball potted, and then go for a 2-3 railer. Be brave. He knows he has to do it, and he's left the one hanging. He's trying to do it in one shot. In fact, that was far too dangerous. He could have easily cut that one ball there, potted it, and then caromed a ball and lost his points and still be short of 90, which he is anyway. So Cobra moves on to 89. And again, he's going to have a second go at this. Try and not go round the back of that 5 ball. He might just go at the short rail and try and check it direct to it this time. And that's what he's done. Well, it's going to be tough for Cobra to score a great deal the way this setup is. The one ball is dead in the pocket, is waiting for Tam to knock it in to get to 90. So the draw shot sends, and he's got to hit this hard enough to get this 5 ball to come around the table and back up. Well, this might not be too bad, the way this is finishing. I think he'll take that. Same with this 3 ball. He has to take a risk every shot here and sending that around the table to bring it back into play. But he'll lose if he's going thin to the rail into the back of the 5. See, he didn't get that. He would have much rather got that one full in the face. See, now he's got work to do. And it just gets that wee bit more difficult. But he's got 7 points that are priceless at this stage in Iraq. More importantly, he's 3 into the caroms and doesn't want to lose them. And now this is a bit more difficult. He can overcut the the 3 ball, but the danger with that is if he hits it too hard, he could bank it up and down. That's the danger with that shot. And then he's sending the cue ball to the far rail and over to this rail to kiss the 5. And I think he was a wee bit scared of the line there in doing that. Didn't get it right at all. But either way, Tam's back at the table. The run ends in 8. He has a slender 4-point lead, and Tam is no good on his follow-up. Going for the draw, but everything's at distance. He needs to get things organised pretty quick here. And that 3-ball, of course, is in dead line. Can he think he could? I think he can squeeze that and pinch it and use the rail. He didn't even need to use the rail. But he's overhit the 3-ball. Well, now there's a 2-in-1 shot here. You can go there to the rail to hit the 5 and hit the 3. So you've got to get the spin working in the cue ball if you're doing it that way. He's trying to do the draw and he's missed it. I would have played the 2-way shot there because that way you can get a decent line off that one, get some spin into it to try and hit the 5, and if not, hit the 3. You've got to increase your odds and take the risks at this stage. You're 1-0 down and you're trying to rescue this second rack. Got to be brave and go for it. Well, this is danger. Got danger written all over it, this shot. He's trying to punch the 3 and get into the 5. It looks a bit dodgy to try and get there. Yeah, he managed to stun it, bump the rail. See, the only problem with that is he's sending it up to another dodgy area. And what's more, he can't see the 3 to play the fairly easy 3-1 carom. But he can see the 1, and he can have a go at a sort of 2-way shot here. It's more than likely he's actually playing for the 3 direct. And he's caught it. Well, I suppose the only difference in this rack is that Tam got into the caroms. I don't think he got into the caroms in the first rack. I think he was in 77 or something. So this has been a slight improvement, but if he's going to have any hope, he needs to get back very, very soon, because Cobra's on the brink of 2-0 here. Do you stick balls over the pockets in the carom phase? No, not deliberately if you can help it. If you accidentally do it and you're on 99 and he's on 90, then you'll leave it up to him to move it, because you're just going to be patient. What you don't want to do is be chasing in the caroms and leaving the 1 ball over a pocket. You've got to find a way to either pot it illegally, in which case it's going to spot and do it at the right time to leave him not a great table, but you've got to be desperate to do that. And Cobra on 99. One ball's going to go outward. But he's still on 99. And Tam on last chance saloon. And this is again danger, this shot. If he hits that 3-ball right side, he's scratching. If he overcompensates, he's missing it altogether. And worse still, he's bringing the 1 ball. Well, he's playing it ultra cautious. He's killed the 1 ball to the rail. And now, if he can avoid a double kiss, he can get to the 1 ball off the 3. If he's brave, he'll punch the 5 around the table and get into the 1 from that way. But he's chickening out. He's chickening out big time here. There wasn't a great deal of commitment over that shot. In fact, it looks as if he'd actually hit that 3. He might have potted it if it had the pace. Cobra now on the outshot. And this is just a thin edge. Just a little brush in the 1. And he'll be 2-0. And this is easy, this. This is just about a feather edge and use all of the pocket. And pocket weight. You don't need to thump it. Couldn't be easier than that. Yeah, Tam, it's time you just got brave. So 2-0 to Cobra. And for those of you wondering what happens next, these two guys are playing for a position, a place in round 4. LS3's already through to round 4 in the bottom half of the draw. She took out Chiku the other night. They're 3 racks to 1. And then we've got those 2 matches that are in round 2. Bose and Bankster and Coldest Pillow and Tommy. They have to go over the weekend and Monday. And then, of course, the winner of this match goes through to round 4. But the top 2 matches in round 2, Mr. Fox and Miskin and Larry and Matt, they've still to get things set up. They've got until July the 23rd to get their matches played. And meanwhile, Tam at the table. And again, he's not hit. Again, he's trying to do things very thin edges, and he's just blown his 7 points that he's had there. You know, he's either not comfortable in the force follows, but then when you go for the thin edges, you've got to be comfortable in them. Otherwise, why are you choosing to leave them like that? And more important thing is you've got to be committed and actually play the shot. You've got to stroke the cue. So he's just blown his 7 points, and that's about the only good thing about that whole visit. It was only 7 points. I think you can be cautious and cautious, but there's a time where I just think you've just got to go for it. It might change your fortunes in the game, but just trying to be that bit too deliberate, I think it's maybe stifling your natural rhythm to play this game. The way it's looking at the moment, it has to be said, it's looking all too comfortable for Cobra. I mean, nobody's really pushed him. Not really. I mean, Monster got 1 rack off him, and that was by picking his pocket. The rest of it was reasonably comfortable in the end. Well, I think he's missed the force follow there. Yeah, he's missed it. So Tam, back at the table, he's got an easy little follow for the 1 to the 5. And if he can just stud that 1 ball in and come out into the middle of the table, he'll have the 1-5 to follow. Well, he's letting it run loose, but he doesn't want it to run too low. It'll be too straight. And again, that was a poor shot, because he could have easily stunned that in and held the cue ball. Now he's having to run off the back rail. He could have left it an undoubted certainty, that carom. Ended up having to make one there. Well, I think now's about time for your biggest run of the match, Tam. This wouldn't go amiss at this stage. And no sooner have I said that than bang goes the carom, and the visit ends in 9. Now Tam's wondering how long he's going to have to wait now to get his next turn. It might be a while. I'm going to have to go to the BBC News channel on my phone and see if I can find this story that I heard. I'm trying to remember what the hell it was. Tam back at the table. Cobra's visit didn't amass to anything, so another lifeline for Tam. Now, what about that? Doctor and husband? She's the doctor, he's the husband. What about them jailed for selling stolen protective clothing during the COVID crisis? What about that? Any way to make a buck. But that wasn't the story. And I don't see anything in the news. I can't find a damn thing. I can't remember what the hell it was. I just know that I wanted to have a good rant about it, and now I can't. Well, Tam's visit didn't amass to anything either, because no sooner do I look back up, Cobra's back at the table. Well, we could be plodding away here to the inevitable outcome. A comfortable 3-0 win for Cobra. Unless there's a dramatic turnaround. So 5 ball back in the spot. 3 to the 1. Or 5 to the 3, whichever's comfortable with the cue ball. Just going to run above. Make it a wider angle. I think he's going to go 3 to 1 because that's a safer one. And now we've got a bit of isolation here again. You never want the one ball down in the short reel if you can help it. You never really want a ball in any reel if you can help it, but you've got to try and get things back into play fairly quickly. So he's looking for, well, again, the safest shot is going directly to the rail and into the back of the 5 rather than direct to the 5. Well, he has gone direct to the 5. I mean, there's still a risk that anything can happen. You could scratch, but he took that risk. His lead is 21 and counting. He's at 3 ball to stay in the rail. So he's got a pot here. Now, playing the 5 and holding the middle of the table will give him the 5-1. I mean, if he stuns across, he could have a 5-3, but he's just letting the cue ball go where it wants to go. But I think he's fine. He's got to judge that line direct to the 1. Again, the choice for this is to go square, parallel with the 5 when it spots, so you can go 5 to 3, or come below the 1, so you get a choice of 2 shots. Yeah, he's going to go square with the 5 ball, so he can go 5-3. And that's what he didn't want. He wanted a half ball. He's hit it with a double kiss. So now he's going to work the 1-5, I would assume, unless he finishes with another option to go 1 to the 3. Just depends how it finishes here. Well, it's looking much more likely he's going to go 1-3. Yeah, got to, because it's again a big target just off that rail. And he can also get it onto his spot. But again, the problem is he's got everything in isolation. Now, if he goes 2 rails potting the 1 ball, he'll be unlucky not to have the 1-5 carom. So it's still about playing the right shot. And that's gone wrong, though. Didn't want the collision in the 5, but again, he can get away with it with the Force follow, 5 up table, follow through to the 3. Good line for that. Doesn't want to hit the knuckle. 5 comes up, so there's a carom set from the 5 to the 1. He can pot the 3 and he's back in business. Again, just having a quick look to see the lay of the land before he plays the shot. And now everything's under control. The run is 44. And the finish line gets ever closer. 5 ball goes in. He'll have the 5 to the 3. Or the 1. Tell a lie, I forgot that was a pot. So now he's got the 1 to the 5 or the 5 to the 3. And the run is 57 and counting. The only problem is that Cobra can't beat the high run on this visit, even if he runs out. Well, I think people are making a statement with their feet. I think everybody's headed over to join Slim on Friday night 9 ball. I think they've seen enough of this. They're not expecting a miracle comeback from Tam. Well, you're optimistic, I'll give you that. Cobra now into the carom phase. Run goes to 70. Tam a mile behind. Follow up set for the next carom. And this match is not even 90 minutes old yet. So we're actually on a par for the average 30-minute rack here. And Cobra looking to get his third and final rack to go over the line. Run is 72. Got to play the safest shot. Still stay at the table, and that'll do. Easy one to follow. Got to play this 5 ball at such a pace, though, where he's bringing it back up the table again. Now, ideally, would have liked it to maybe hit the cue ball there, but he can play a reasonably safe edge off the 5 ball and come off the rail up onto the back of the 1. That, as long as he plays it at the right pace, there's no danger of anything happening. He's not going to scratch, and he's not going to play it that fast that the cue ball's running. Perfectly safe, albeit he doesn't have an easy follow-up, but all he's worried about now is just keeping the points that he's made and not doing anything stupid. The run is 75. And that's a great shot. Another bonus carom. Staying well away from the 5 ball, because that's the one that's more dangerous to play. Trying to get to that one up in the corner. So one more carom, and he's got a good setup here for it as well. This 1 to the short rail to maybe the long rail and kick into the back of that 5 ball looks pretty good. Again, to me, it's a perfectly good shot. I mean, even if you overhit it, you're not going to scratch. You're going to run into that 3 ball up table. Well, he's went on the high side, whereas I would have wanted to come on the low side, but it'll work because now he's got the outshot. Stun into the side pocket for a 3-0 win. If he's going to call that pocket, that is. Nope, he's going to go top right-hand corner. Doesn't like that one. And Tam might get one more shot here. Then again, he might not. And that's it. It is all over, folks. So, confident, competent, and too damn good for Tam is Cobra. A 3-0 win, and the defending champion through to round 4. And that will update any second now, he says confidently. In fact,
where's the cue ball going?
Back to the other bit. There we go. So Tam now goes to the one loss side. That still hasn't bloody well updated. Refresh view, that's the one I'm looking for. Everything seems to be dragging on here. Why is it taking so bloody long? Is it because I'm in the room? I'm not in the room. No, I'm not in the room. I get kicked out of the room when it finished. Bound to be updated now. Well, I don't know what's going on here. It seems to be hanging up, this result going through. Somebody's still in the room, whoever that might be. Who came into the room? Or maybe somebody's, there's something went amiss. Anyway, Tam goes to that one loss side. Cobra moves through to round 4. He's got a time to wait for his opponent. And Tam has moved over and he's waiting on the winner of Interchange X and Mark Shark. So those two guys are both from the States, I believe. I think Mark Shark's from the States. He's not from Germany, as he is from the States, I think. Anyway, they've got a little while to get their matches arranged as well. The deadline for the next round is August the 2nd for those guys. So that'll take shape eventually. Right, head over to Slim. Join him in his Twitch channel. And you can follow these Friday night 9-ball matches. You've got Stefan, One Pocket Slim at the moment. Yamaguchi Taru playing Romario. Houdini against Happy Dolo. And Brainful out against LS3. That's it for me, folks. Have a good weekend. Don't forget the big fight on tomorrow night. I should be able to find a good stream for it and I'll be able to watch it all. Right, take care. We'll see you again very soon. Good evening.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.